Assassin's Creed Valhalla is awesome. I really enjoyed my time with the game, but it isn't without its faults. Going into 2021, there is some core additions and changes that we, as Assassin's Creed fans and players, need in the game to take us to that next level of Valhalla satisfaction. So in this video, I'm going to take you through those 10 things I think the game needs, some of which have already been confirmed by Ubisoft, so we can actually get the most out of this amazing world that they've created. If you're new to the channel, my name's Andy, nice to meet you, and it's all about Assassin's Creed content in this neck of the woods, so if you find any value or get a laugh out of this video, hit a like down below. It really does help me out loads, and coffee's on me if you do. Kicking it off with my number 10, and that's the big old elephant in the room, quality of life. We've all experienced some sort of bug or issue when playing the game, some funny, some not so funny, but Ubisoft have already said that it's a top priority for them to smoothen this all out going into 2021. And to be fair, we've already seen a lot of it during the latest 1.1 update. So I think we're going in the right direction, but we're not there just yet. What we do need though is small incremental improvements that have a big impact on our actual gameplay and experience. Some of those would be previewing items in the shop before we could purchase it. Another option would be to categorize the weapons and armor selections so we can switch in and out of builds quite quickly. The same goes for rune selection. Why are we scrolling through all of these runes? I think we need to clean it up a little bit so it's a better experience for us going forward into the Wrath of the Druids. Now, number 9 for me is when it actually comes to armor. We've got to the point where, on my count, we've got 8 armor sets that we can purchase in the Helix store, and we've only got 9 armor sets which we can actually gain by completing the game. I don't actually think that's the right thing for the game, or more importantly us, particularly where there's actually a few standout Helix armor sets that are really good performing stat-wise. So when it comes to weekly content updates, the only regular updates we're getting at the moment is another set of Helix armor to purchase on the store. Going forward, we need more armor sets actually added to the game, which we can obtain by actually playing the game. This is a bit of a catch-22, right? Because we need more content for us to actually be able to collect more armor, but that's coming, and I'm going to talk about new DLC content more in this video. Now, another great change I think that we should get to keep us playing and actually enjoying Saxon England is upgrading Reda's shop and the Opal economy system. We've seen some really good progress on that front in the new implementation of community challenges and daily challenges in the Ubisoft Connect system. I think that's awesome. I think that's a really great plus. However, I think we can enhance this further, and this really comes down to what Ubisoft values more. Players logging in and playing the game, or them spending money on the Helix store. I think we all know here which one they do like most, okay? But I reckon there should be an option for people to purchase full Helix armor through Opals if they actually have them. So making daily quests repeatable as many times as a player would want. I mean, it would be hella grindy, but you could actually be waiting months for that full armor set to appear in the Reda shop if you didn't want to purchase it for 20 bucks or 20 quid. Another addition here would be to increase the amount of items on the Reda store. 4 isn't enough, especially at the moment where it costs 50 opals for a tattoo. Nobody's going to pay that. It doesn't make any sense. Now, Dom, the community manager for Valhalla, has said that all items will be on rotation in the shop, so it is going to take a long time for me or you to pick up a full armor set if we're just going to use opals. So changing this to have more items in the shop, I think would be a plus for us. Now, Transmog, where are you at, bro? This has actually been confirmed by Ubisoft, so we will 100% be getting this in the game this year. When will that be though, Andy? If I was to hazard a guess, because I think it's such a highly requested feature, I think we're going to pick this up in the next couple months, if not in the next update, especially going into River Raids and other community interaction features such as the Jomsviking update. And combine that Jomsviking update with the ability to actually transmog some of our armor with some legacy outfits. We've already got Bayaks. I'd love to see Altairs and Etsiers going into this year and perhaps even putting them on our Jomsvikings, which would be so cool. Now, I had to bring this up, boys, but it's the one-handed swords and we don't have them, and I don't know why. Do you know why? I'm pretty sure we've had them in all of our AC games so far, so it's baffling to me why we haven't had these implemented in Saxon England when they were really prevalent at the time. All I want to do is run around with Ragnar Lothbrok's or Bjorn Ironside sword on my horse. God damn it, that would be so sick. I've scoured the internet and I can't seem to find any sort of response on this from Ubisoft or on Reddit or anywhere at all. Now, I'm not a developer, so I can't justifiably sit here and go, it would be so easy to add these into the game. But what I would say is that we already have enemies in the game with them, so I don't know why we haven't got them ourselves. Hopefully, we get them in the next couple months, but we're just going to have to wait and see. So we're halfway through the video so far. Time is absolutely flying. But before I get into the top 5, if you've enjoyed the video so far, got a few giggles, consider hitting that subscribe button. It lets me know that I'm making content that you enjoy, and that's why I'm doing it, and I'll continue to make more if you do. Now, when it comes to events like the Yule Festival, well, I can actually see them becoming a regular occurrence throughout the year. Initially, I enjoyed the Yule Festival, but if I'm honest with myself, it was more because there was something else to do, something else to play, which was new and interesting. Now, that soon wore off due to the myriad of bug issues and the fact that I completed everything in 3 hours. Now, I'm open to events like these, but I do think that the team could perhaps direct their time and efforts into improving the game and directing resources to content which would be better received by us, such as enhancing the experience when it comes to end-game replayable content. On a Reddit post from Skyward Soul, in the directory folder there was a few things of interest added. One of them being videos which have actually been removed surrounding naval combat. Now, Ubisoft have already come out and stated that they initially planned to create naval combat in Valhalla, but it was removed because it wasn't historically accurate, right? Now, for those of you who know me, I don't like naval combat. So I'm open when it comes to my immense dissatisfaction for this potential update. But there is a potential ramming ability to be added, which, to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily mind too much if it was limited to ramming into kind of beach fortifications or walls to break into our raiding fort. Longships are cool, and they definitely have their place in this game, and I hope we just don't blur those lines between longship naval combat and the longship ramming vehicles, which would be a good update in my opinion, and pretty cool if used properly. Stealth has been a huge core mechanic in the Assassin's Creed franchise, and if we're being straight up, we just don't have it in this game. I honestly think that we need to kind of rekindle that love-stealth relationship and that mechanic properly in future updates, especially from the impressive showcase that we've recently seen from the likes of Hitman 3 and the great response that's received from the community so far. At the moment in game, we can't actually create any stealth builds at all. It doesn't matter what armor or skills we choose, you can't actually prevent any enemies from detecting us when playing, and that is standard across the board. Stealth as a stat only actually affects the damage you do while undetected, so sneaking up and stabbing them, and the evasion stat only affects how frequently an enemy's attack will kind of do less damage to you, so it's all combat driven when it comes to stealth. Going forward, particularly heading into Dublin and Paris where there's actually going to be more of a city vibe, I'd like more quests and opportunities to get that cloak up and get that nostalgia feel, to have the choice to be able to be an assassin and then maybe switch out to be a Viking and I want to go berserk. You know, I think it's important to have those two choices for players. Now, number 2 for me, the big one, the main bread and butter inbound for us in the next 3 weeks, and that is replayable content. Hallelujah. We're going to be able to get 3 replayable raid maps on various difficulties. We'll be able to pick up more rewards, gear, skills, and abilities. This is the answer to all of our prayers, and this is exactly what we need. I'm very much looking forward to it. What we do need, though, out of this replayable content is something more than just being able to steamroll everything after we complete all of these modes. And I think that's the position a lot of us are in when it comes to finishing Valhalla as a game. We've got ringed forts in Ireland, and fingers crossed there's going to be something different each time we do it. I also really like the idea of being able to recreate or re-raid some of the big story mode raids that we'd actually done. I felt completely immersed and genuinely felt that I was charging through the forts. If they recreate that in any meaningful way, I think we're in for a winner, and I can see 5 to 6 iterations of that kind of mode throughout the next year. Now, my numero uno, and I think it's the most important update that needs to occur in 2021, and I think a lot of you will agree with me, and that's the community interaction and the whole community system in total. At the moment, I can't actually connect with any of my mates in this game. I've got some community camera shots on my map and some random Jomsvikings I can recruit, and that's it. And it's really disappointing comparatively to previous Assassin's Creed games which have really incorporated a lot of community interaction and options in their games. The thing is, this has been the same since launch. There hasn't been any meaningful update in regard to improving that system, and I want a system where I'm able to directly add your Jomsvikings to my crew through a simple friendship slash kind of search option. It would also be great to have a competitive competitive addition to this game, perhaps the inclusion of a scoreboard if we're going to get the replayable content to kind of spice things up a bit and drive you to beat your mates and the community score. I also really enjoyed the co-op multiplayer options in the likes of Brotherhood and Unity, but if I'm being honest, that's not going to be making a resurgence in this game. Give me a Brotherhood Jomsviking recruit system with the ability to level up my mates Jomsvikings through smashing raids and giving me a score to do it, and I would honestly be happy. I really hope that they implement something similar to this going forward. That's my top 10. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button for more content like this. And if you're interested in joining this really small but growing community, I've created a Discord server. The first 100 members will be getting the founder community rank, which is really exciting because I plan to be making AC videos for the next 10 years. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Coffee's on me.